was running for president, this guy, Theo Von, and others like him were kind of trying to ride the popularity of that whole thing. They were, not opposed to the right-wing regime coming in that was saying, hey, we're going to round up all the fucking minorities and commit war crimes. Now that it is happening, and now that they are being associated, Theo Von, this is happening to Aiden Ross, all sorts of people. Fucking Joe Rogan, lots of the comedian sphere, not Aiden Ross, who's a talentless loser, but at least these other guys can do stand-up and run a podcast. Very interesting to see that now that you're being directly associated with this shit, doesn't feel very good. This is a reaping sowing issue. All right, here's Theo Von finding out that Homeland Security used him to propagate their shit.
The Department of Homeland Security put a video up online talking about they started making like trap beat edits and like banger edits to evicting people from the country, right? Or eliminating illegals, maybe some criminals, some people just undocumented, all, just across the spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. So they put a video of mine that I'd made for somebody in a parking lot, probably like maybe a year and a half ago, just jokingly. I think it was a year and a half ago. They put it in at the front of this Department of Homeland Security, like trap beat. I think they had I'm not sure if they had like young boy lyrics or whatever they had.
So this is the clip in question that Homeland Security put out. And I think maybe also a response here.
Heard you got deported, dude. Bye.
Heard you got deported, buddy. Oops, let me...
Heard you got deported, dude.
So that was him making a joke to some guy. But the DHS used the footage to propagate their shit. And now he doesn't feel very good about being associated with this, which is just a damn shame because he voted for it or encouraged other people to in his Louisiana digital camo shirt. Jesus.
But it was ridiculous. And the video was a girl had walked up to me in a parking lot and she had said, hey, my friend just got deported. What do you have to say? Do you have a message? I can't remember what it was. And I was just like, bye. And I didn't know if it was real or not. I had no idea. I was just joking around. It's a stranger came up to me in a parking lot. I think it was after a show, and there were some people gathered around, and we were just kind of like BSing and taking pictures and just kind of associating, right? Anyway, long story short, that happens. So this video goes...
So like the joke is that you support deportations? And you're like, wait, I don't want anyone to think that.
Mega viral, 25 million, 30 million views. It's everywhere. Yeah. And the front of of that Homeland Security video, it's on the White House thing. It's on everything. It's everywhere. And the first 10 seconds of it are me.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't have anything to do with this shit. Nobody asked me about it.
Of course not. Of course not. Why would they? They're just going to do it. They don't give a fuck.
Nobody said, hey, this is going to happen. And I have a lot of different thoughts about immigration, right? They're like showing people getting arrested. It's just an intense thing. And why is the government even making these? I don't know.
Propaganda. They're trying to make popular a thing that is unpopular. But your sort of approval of it secondarily by supporting the people who carry it out are, that's pretty fucked up, man.
But that's where we're at.
Theo Von, invite me on the podcast.
In the world. And I have a lot of thoughts about immigration, right? I have a ton of them. And we don't need to go into them all.
I would love to hear some of them.
Right now, I've talked about them on other episodes. I feel like they're doing a lot of bookkeeping in the country right now because we're going to get into a surveillance state and everyone is going to have to be on the books, right? So
that's bad. That's a bad thing.
So that's where I believe that we're headed. But this was just wild, and people are sending messages and hateful stuff and, you think all these illegals should, and all this type of shit. And I could talk to you ad nauseum about that, but this wasn't the time for it. It just was something that they used and put out there and everybody saw, right?
Yeah. Yes, they did. I guarantee you the Trump administration thought, he's not even going to care about this. He's on our side,
So I'm getting a ton of hateful stuff. And I'm trying to remember everything. I'm trying to kind of remember everything right now. And But this video goes everywhere, and I'm getting like a lot of like, dude, what the fuck? Just all kind of shit, right? Like my phone just blew. I'm like, what the hell? It's just like the last thing I needed, right? There's a week left to this special, and this happens. You know, this thing comes out. And my father immigrated here from Nicaragua, right? Like one of my prized possessions is I have his immigration papers when he came here.
Well, they're not letting people get those anymore because we're surrounded by racist, fascist fucks. So it finally, this is how it always goes, man. These guys, no matter how like fucking down home little country boy he comes across, it's all like, you know, it's very inward. It's very, well, this affects me now, and this kind of sucks, man. It makes me feel bad. And that's when it's really setting in at all that something might be wrong. My family got to immigrate here. Why should anyone else's? Gotta pull up the ladder behind us, man.
And I have him in a frame, and him and his siblings when they came here. And so I have tons of thoughts about it, but this was just fucked up, right? It was fucked up. And it was everywhere. It was like on all platforms and stuff. So that had me really kind of paranoid. You know, that had me start to get kind of paranoid and, you know, like closing, like, you know, I had the curtains in my house kind of closed. I was just like, you know, you're paranoid. I woke up the next morning. Sorry, I need some water.
Paranoid from who? The left. Like, who are you worried about? Who's coming for Theo Von because the White House used his shit?
I woke up the next morning to a text from a high government official saying, hey, if you need some extra security in your neighborhood or some extra police cars on patrol, let me know.
Yeah, because they are fucking obsessed with wielding force. Of course. Hello? Have you not seen any? Did you watch the whole video that you were featured in?
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Extra security. I don't have any, like, you know, I don't even know the code to my Ring camera. Like, I don't even know how to log in. So it's like, and like, what, you're just going to put police cars in my neighborhood? What are my neighbors going to think? Now they're fearful. Like, it just like, I don't know, man. That like really kind of shook me. It really kind of shook me. But you keep marching on, you know, and you start getting security, and then now you have security, right?
I don't understand. So it shook you. The government wasn't what shook you. The idea of someone hurting you is what's going on. I just don't know how you so dumb. It's just so dumb all the time from these guys. They don't know fucking anything that's going on. They're just dumb motherfuckers, man. It is hard to make humans organized in even a little bit. They're just so fucking self-centered.
And the thing is, you just don't know. You just don't know. Right? There was a moment on the, like, it was White House, because the White House also put this out. Thank you, White House. That... And look, I'm all for like the board. I'm all for tighter borders. I'm all for like accurate knowing who's on. I'm all for knowing who is in a country. I'm all for knowing what's in the cupboard of a society. I think you should know every item on the log. I think it should be known, right?
I disagree. I don't think we should have a surveillance state. Well, I don't think so. Yeah, he's trying to keep his right-wing viewers. I mean, it feels very cynically like he's not being real. It feels like he's pandering. That sucks, man. Like, have an opinion. So you feel violated in some way by the right-wing government because you don't fully support what their message is, but also you want the right-wing money that's coming in and the clout that comes from associating yourself with that. That's fucking crazy, dude. These people are fucking sellouts, man. No matter how, like I said, Duck Dynasty-ass motherfucker over here. Like, it's the same shit, just rich with a drawl, man.
I do. Now, how do you get there? That's the bigger question, and we don't have to discuss that today, right? It's not about that. And sorry I'm going slow here. I'm trying to piece this together. Now I have this thing with security, but then you get a security person, and if you're walking on a security guy, then that's kind of uncomfortable because now you're like, it kind of makes you spooked. You're like, well, what's going on? So there's just like all of that's happening, and then we get to just the job, right? Like, which is performing, speaking in front of strangers. Like, you had just seen this thing with Charlie Kirk, right? It's like we all watch somebody get lit.
What the fuck, man? It's just Charlie Kirk shit. We're just fucking circling the drain. It's always the same. These podcasters think that they're next. It's all about them. They don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk's neck. They care about their own. It has nothing to do with their give a shit about Charlie Kirk. It has everything to do with like, whoa, dude, what if that was my ass? I feel like I don't like Charlie Kirk, and I've given him more dignity than any of these motherfuckers. Because it's like, I just met him where he was, right? I didn't fucking lie about Charlie Kirk. Not one time. All these right-wingers are fucking lying about this guy. What a fucking disgrace. Like, just admit the man he was, and like it or don't. I don't. Now we just have people like this. It's like, well, what if it was me, bro? You're not Charlie Kirk. You're Theo Von. It's just different, man. Gun violence is a problem in this country because of guys like Charlie Kirk, essentially lobbying for a country and you know, propagandizing for a country to have bad gun laws that allow people that shouldn't have them access to them so they can kill a bunch of fucking people. It sucks. Charlie's one of the statistics he was okay with existing to have these gun laws.
We all watched somebody get murdered.
I've seen way more than just Charlie Kirk get murdered, whether it's been in America or anywhere else. He's not even special. He didn't even go out in a particularly like crazy way other than the cameras were pointed at him while it happened. Usually the cameras are pointed at people right after instead.
Casually on our phones, right? Like, and I don't mean to say it like that, but that's how it came across to us. There's no warning on a lot of video you see, and like, so just a lot of, I think, unnecessary pressure, a lot of stress going on that I did. Some of it I was aware of, and some of it you just don't know you're aware of it, I think.
It's just so stressful. You tied your fucking self to the Trump wagon, and now you're realizing it's headed for a cliff, and you're like, wait a second, I don't want to go off a cliff. I mean, while everyone else is saying, like, hey, that's headed for a cliff. It always has been. It's been pointed that way. We've got maps. We have all the math, all the science to show you the trajectory of the wagon, and you denied it because, I don't know, you painted it gold or something. You're like, but it's a fancy wagon. I'm making money. These right-wing adjacent podcast bros, they're kind of like finding out as their popularity begins to dwindle and the people they have left are not very cool to them. They're starting to figure out like, wait, I don't like this. I don't like being associated with this. It's unethical. It doesn't really fully represent how I feel. From the jump, this whole MAGA thing has been a grift, right? I mean, they're just trying to swindle people and take them for a ride, and on the way steal as much wealth as possible from them and everybody else around. And that they don't see it is pretty disappointing, but also like sadly expected. So it's like it's a mixture of emotions and feelings on it. It's like I didn't expect someone like Theo Von to have good opinions, but it's also like you didn't have to have the bad ones too. You know, you stay out of it. They all involve themselves. They all felt the sort of tide of like, you know, I can make some money off of this. And they all fucking tried to. And it works for a little while. The Trump cycle is running itself right back into the same space it was before. Do you remember the end of the last Trump run? People were just fucking tired of it. Tired of it. Joe Biden felt fresh to us. Hopefully elections down the road help a little bit. We'll see what the fuck. They're trying their best to make sure they can't do nothing.